Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. Just a quick intro to say that on today's episode, it's myself and Stephen Mullan, one of our regulars on the pod, and we're talking about nothing at all, really. Our idea was that we were going to talk about life hacks that we've learned during quarantine, but it was meant to be a bit of a piss take. But in the end, what happened was we talked a lot about cereal. And a lot about Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's just a bit of crack, and it's a break from it all. We've had 2 episodes in a row that were pretty full on, great, but full on. And this is mindless crack. Life hacks, cereal, what type of milk you eat with your cereal, how you apply the milk, Sonic the Hedgehog, and just fun. So enjoy it. Here's Steve, and it's great to be back. Steve, I don't care that you're still eating a banana. That's how professional.
I'm not eating into the mic.
Oh yeah, actually, banana can be a bad chew
Controversial,
sound.
isn't it?
It can be a bad chew sound, you know.
Oh, bad chewing sound. Sorry, yeah. Some people say bananas aren't good for you and all that. I am back on coffee hard, by the way.
Come on, you gotta be. It's hard to get motivated from. It's weird. Tell me if you're finding this. I feel more tired than when I'm busy.
You feel more tired now than when you're busy?
Yeah, like I feel more tired in quarantine than when I'm busy.
Yeah.
Like I find it's easy to just I don't get like depressed, but I definitely find it easy to be lethargic.
Do you never get depressed? You never come across to me as someone who'd ever get depressed? Because I definitely kind of like, geez, come on now, Stephen, pick yourself
Steve,
up here.
Steve, we said we were going to have a fun episode today.
No, I'm not going to talk about that now.
I know I accidentally mentioned depression, but I certainly have never had a moment where I felt like, I felt down, but I've never had a moment where I thought, oh shit, I have a depression issue, you know?
Right. Oh yeah.
But maybe I'm just in major denial, you know? It's going to come crashing down one day. It's going to be like, you thought you could just ease your way through this life. Well, here's fucking payback for all your madness.
Well, we might go into all, because we just got announced that we have at least another month of this lockdown here.
They said another month of the full lockdown?
Yeah, another. Well, yeah.
Are you looking up at me, Steve?
No, May. It's May the 5th. May the 5th, which it's a month today, basically. Yeah.
So they're saying May the 5th for this full
to continue with these restrictions
cops on the streets. Wow, man! And it's funny because Ireland is freaking out. Somebody messaged me yesterday and said we have 500 new cases in Ireland today, and I was like, we had 800 deaths in New York today. 800
just
deaths.
in New York. Shit,
New York State, not New York City. Get it into you, Steve. I just want to let you know that the camera was on you for that final bite. You know?
It's fine. It's totally good. I don't care.
Just get it into you. I like your coffee cup. It looks like you're camping. It's like you're going to cook your beans in that coffee cup there too?
So this is, yeehaw. This is also a controversial cup because I maintain that I robbed this from a pub that served pork scratchings in it it's not Camden. Oh Jesus. Anyway, not far from Camden. When a friend of mine went to see Dylan Moran one night, and they served the scratchings in that cup, and I was like, that's a nice cup for coffee, you know, and took it. But my girlfriend maintains that she got it from somewhere else. But anyway, who knows, you know?
What kind of media are you getting about New York? Because my friend called me today, and he was just like, it's fucking hell over there. And I was like, God, it's bad, but I don't know what you guys are seeing. That because everybody from over there seems to be freaking out.
Well, it's just, I think, in comparison to, I think most Irish people, well, I just can't tar them all with the same brush, but unless you've lived in a big city like in New York or London, when you see those types of numbers, it can be quite like, holy shit, because, you know, most Irish people, if they've lived in Ireland all their lives, they're not used to a city of that size. They're not used to, like I've lived in London, and you can see the crazy numbers, but I also know how many people are concentrated into one borough of London. So like it's an intensity of people that there's no comparison in Ireland. So when you see those types of figures, like the New York figures, I think it can be overwhelming to go, fucking hell. But I think maybe New Yorkers and Americans are used to it because it's, you know, New York is such a densely populated place, you know.
Well, I started wearing a mask now. I did my weekly. Well, when I say my weekly shop, I actually hadn't done food shopping in 2 weeks. I deliberately.
Wow.
This is since we said we were going to do life hacks, Steve.
Yes.
We said we were going to do life hacks today.
Boiled eggs.
She just delivered you that egg, which you spilled there. You wasted
2 eggs. No, I didn't. That's here. 2 eggs. I got 2 eggs.
Oh, you got to get that protein in. Jesus, you're doing it right. I'm fostering a dog, but she doesn't make me fucking eggs. I can tell you that right now.
How's that going, by the way? I haven't chatted to you since you got Becky.
Well, she's good. I had I got a break yesterday. So this vet, actually an American lady, but she's married to an Irish guy, so I guess that's how she became familiar with me. She's one of the people that has just kind of gotten into my Instagram in quarantine, you know? And so she said, listen, just so you know, I'm a vet. She was thanking me for all the content, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, I'm a vet, so if you have any questions about the dog, don't be afraid to ask. I don't mind. So the really big question that I wanted to know was, how old is she? Because I know that you can check from the teeth. So I was able to, very scary to take a picture of a pit bull's teeth because I sent her, I just sent her like a picture, like the front of her teeth, her little happy smile. And she was like, no, and then she showed me the type of picture that I needed, which is like back of the mouth, open the thing. And even though Becky doesn't seem to be a killer, it's still like,
for sure.
I would compare it to the feeling of walking onto a ward where coronavirus patients are. You know that you have your PPE on, and you know that you're probably going to be safe. But at the same time, it is a killer. You're in the presence of a killer.
Yes.
So I had my hand at the side of this pit bull's mouth that I've really only known a week. I mean, we're getting
That's
on
the thing.
well.
You don't know each other that well, you know?
Yeah, we're only getting on a week, And anyway, I got the picture. And so actually the shelter was correct. The vet said between 3 and 4, which is what the shelter had sort of said, 4 or 5. So anyway, she's probably only 4 years old. She's a fantastic dog, probably not great with other dogs. But the other great thing that the vet said, take a picture of the wound from the surgery. And she said, actually, it's healed up really well. So you can pretty much stop using a cone, and you can also take her on the beach and get a bit active. So yesterday evening was really the beginning of our journey together. But I have to tell you that I've taken her off the leash twice on the beach, both times like nobody on the beach. But my heart was in my fucking mouth the first time because she didn't run too far away, but I walked over towards the public beach because I just didn't want her like running, just in case like one of the houses had a dog and she just decided to just like run up somebody's, walkway onto their house. So I said, let me get down to the public beach, less people, no people, because it was like, it was nearly it was nearly dark. And she fucking took off towards the fucking stairs of the public beach.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I was like, Becky, and I was just thinking like, she's going to run up that thing and there's going to be somebody up there looking at the sunset,
Yeah.
I was jetting it, bro. I was like jetting it. Because like, if it was any other type of dog, I wouldn't care, but it's a fucking pit bull.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know,
Yeah,
I don't want to walk up there and she's got like some child's arm in her mouth being like, did I do good, Daddy?
Yeah,
so, anyway, she did eventually come back. But this morning I took her off the leash and she's good. She runs and then she comes back. So she kind of behaved like previous dogs that I've had in my life this morning off the leash. So I feel pretty confident when nobody's around that I could take her off the leash. But anyway, I feel like I'm boring people with my dog stories.
Not at all. It's cool. I think it's cool. I'm delighted that you did it. It's really cool to have done because like it's one of those things I don't even know if you know how long it's going to go on for. Do you? When do you give her back or like?
No, I mean, I'm not giving her back to that shelter. I will only give up this dog if I find a forever home, which I consider to be my mission. My task with her is to use my social media to get her a forever home. I can handle, people say you'll never be able to give her up. I can handle giving her to like a nice scenario. I cannot hand her back to the shelter. Like, no way.
Right. Okay.
She's too
that's
good.
A pretty cool goal, bro.
She's too good of a dog to hand back to that shelter. Like, she deserves a forever home. She's a very good family dog. I just cannot. I haven't had a proper chance to see if she's good with other dogs, but because I could bring her to Ireland and back, but that's a pain. Honestly, it's not what I want. I don't want the hassle of a dog with the amount of travel that I do, which is fair enough. Like I only committed to fostering the dog, but at the same time, like if I have to give the dog back to the shelter when I go back to Ireland, the dog's coming to Ireland. Simple as that.
That's going to be interesting. How's a New York dog going to get on in Dolphin's barn? You know, I mean, who the fuck is
well,
this?
she's a pit bull, man. She's going to feel right at home. She's going to be like, now these are my people. You know, we were in the Hamptons. The Hamptons was nice, but these people are snobs. This is the smell of discarded needles is really what I'm used to. You know, the smell of weed on the streets and, you know, men trying to express their masculinity through their dog choice. This is what I'm talking about, you know, because people here try to put forward their affluence through their dog choice, you know, purebreds, and, you know, they can talk about, you know, the breeder that they got it from. Whereas in the barn, they basically want to say, you need to fear me like you need to fear my dog.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I'll never forget when I lived in out in Clonsilla, Dublin 15, walking. My dad got like a new family dog after. We'd had family dogs since I was like 3 and he passed away. And then we got a little puppy Cocker Spaniel. So it was like the cutest little thing ever. It was like Lady from Lady and the Tramp. It was so cute. And I used to love taking her out for a walk. And all the lads in the area going, nice dog. And
like it's a effeminate dog.
Yeah, it's like, what are you, gay? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, people make a lot of, you know, people
like literally shouting from the other side of the street. I'm just taking a dog for a walk. Like, it's crazy.
I know,
bro.
like I wanted a small dog. Like you can't really foster a small dog. They're very hard to get.
Yeah.
I wanted a small dog. So I said to one of my neighbors here, I said, I'd love to get a Bichon Frise. And he was like, what? like how could a man get a Bichon Frise? You know?
That's ridiculous.
But I would love a little cuddly Bichon Frise, a little white fluffy Bichon Frise. But now, in saying that, now that I have a single mom pit bull from the hood, it's my assumption, I'm much more comfortable. I really have become a pit bull guy, I have to tell you. I mean, I appreciate that they're dangerous animals, but they're very loving. I'm a pit bull guy, man. You know,
they're seriously loyal, aren't they?
Oh man, they're loyal, but I'm just nervous that loyalty will lead to her. You know, if I take her back to the barn and one of these guys is like, "Oh no, he does," yeah, fucking, she'll be like, "Shut the fuck," you know, like all the trouble. Actually, I think I'm just gonna unleash.
Where's your wheelie bin now?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see them come for my fucking wheelie bin now. These fucking pricks, man. Nah, my wheelie bins are safe. My wheelie bins are safe now.
Yeah.
So anyway, we said we'd mess around on this little quick episode. Talking about life hacks. Well, I tell you, my quarantine life hack number 1, and this is a real one because I know we said we might joke around too. I've really cut down on the amount of food that's in the house. I actually didn't shop for 2 weeks, and I ended up like really cleaning the place out before I went shopping, because when there's so much food in that fridge and there's so much stuff, you just eat a lot more. And I have really cut down on my food consumption since those early days. Remember the early days of quarantine when it was all like a bit of a joke? Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you remember doing jokes about singing happy birthday and washing your hands like this was all a bit of crack?
Yeah.
Remember?
Like, fuck that shit now. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. What were you buying all the time? Crunchy Nut Cornflakes, wasn't it?
No, Honey Nut Cheerios, man.
In Ireland, Cheerios.
Crunchy Nut Cornflakes is one of my Irish indulgences. Crunchy Nut Cornflakes and Cocoa Pops
are
my dude. When I get home from you do a gig in Cavan and you drive home and you know that you have full fat milk with Cocoa Pops, dude. Oh my
amazing.
God, take me back to the simplicity of just doing simple things and having Cocoa Pops at the end of the day and going to bed with regret, but the regret doesn't take away from that 3 minute of crunchy joy that you had.
We didn't have, in Ireland growing up, we didn't have half of the cool things that you guys had. Because I remember do you remember Ricicles? Did you ever have Ricicles?
Ricicles. I have a vague memory of Ricicles.
They were like Rice Krispies, but then they were sugar coated. But then in amongst all the Rice Krispies, there was like chewy marshmallowy bits and
so you had that or you didn't have that?
We did have that, but that was the most exotic thing that we had. But I know you guys had like from Lucky Charms to all sorts of crack going on.
Lucky Charms is full of marshmallows, and it was a leprechaun. Frosted Lucky Charms, they're magically delicious. Which I made a joke about because it turns out it wasn't magic. It was just a lot of sugar. We had Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. We had Cocoa Puffs, which was, I mean, there's definitely Cocoa Puff like cereals in Ireland because I've bought them. You know?
Yeah.
Because you guys have
Yeah.
those Choco Flakes that you get in Spar, which are pretty, you guys, like we have in Spar. And what else growing up was, well, we had Golden Grams. We had a lot more of those. We had a lot more of those cereals. Stop scratching your face. We had a lot more of those cereals, you know?
I thought you were talking to Aiden there for a second, but I realized you're in New York.
No, I'm talking to Becky with the good hair, but she's scratching her face. But I think her skin's getting dry from all the air-conditioned heating that's going on. So, yeah. But anyway, we were a big cereal family, you know?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, I actually was in the supermarket yesterday and I was looking at the Honey Nut Cheerios. So the Honey Nut Cheerios is my cereal, my indulgence of choice here in the United States of America. As it turns out, it is the number one selling cereal in the United States and is full of sugar, but it is so good. I find it very hard to stop myself eating the Honey Nut Cheerios. But anyway, I knew that if I put it into that cart, that I would be sitting there tonight and like literally like I'm so lazy I could be sitting there about to think like what'll I do for dinner, and then I'll be like, fuck it, I'll just have 2 bowls of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh, totally. I'll do that at least 2 bowls. I mean I haven't had cereal in years, and I started buying cornflakes again. And they only come in huge boxes.
Yes.
And bought the cornflakes. Oh, it's a one-off. I won't do it again. I just had to go back and buy them again. But cornflakes with the cold milk, pour it down the side so it doesn't make it to any soggy on top.
So it stays crispy.
So it stays crispy, exactly. And then loads of sugar over the top of it. Oh, it's so
okay,
good.
life hack. Life hack number 2.
Life hack number 2.
You like your cornflakes crispy?
Oh, yes.
So you can just put the milk in first and then just keep pouring little bits on.
I actually did that, and I think, have you said that before recently? I actually did that recently. I'm like,
I didn't say it before, but it's a life hack.
I think somebody, I must have heard, I just started putting the milk in first on top, and I was just like, mind blown. Like, how did I not do this all my childhood, man? You know?
Yeah. Well, especially if you don't pour in too much, and then you can get through it fast, and then you can bang on. By the way, sometimes I put honey, not sugar, on the cornflakes.
Honey on yeah, we would have done that back in the day. We used to have Weetabix with honey on top and some raisins sometimes as well. Mwah.
Now, let me ask you this about Weetabix. Do you prefer when the Weetabix gets soggy, or do you like them when they're still crisp?
I think there is a fine line. It's like in Italian fine cooking, pasta al dente. You have to. It's a fine point between being way too hard and being way too soft. With the Weetabix as well. So I like them just to take it's like the Weetabix drinks the initial first bit of milk, and then you gotta get it before it gets too soggy. If it's too soggy, it's just
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it when it's too soggy, but I'm like you. I like it when my spoon goes through it pretty easy.
Yes.
And there's no crispiness left. But I don't like it when it becomes like mush.
Yes, yeah, that's
very hard to achieve that. Now, because we didn't have, there's Weetabix in America now, but we didn't have Weetabix growing up. And when I first got to Ireland, I was very much into not too much milk with the Weetabix, but kind of like trying to saturate the Weetabix with my pouring. So I would try to pour like very small amounts onto the Weetabix, not just like, because I didn't like any dry bits going into my mouth.
I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, it's about an even distribution and hitting all the spots. Absolutely,
100%. Yeah. Milk distribution with the Weetabix is essentially is very important. And I don't know why this doesn't come up more. In fact, I don't know, was there ever an advertising campaign? Because if there isn't, there has to be, about the perfect way to soak your Weetabix. In fact, I'm shocked that they haven't done an ad campaign where it's like, oh, I just like a lot of milk in mine, and then some people's like, I don't like that much milk at all, or
Yeah, some people put the milk, they put the milk into the Weetabix and then they put it in the microwave.
Yeah, well, they like it hot, almost like a porridge situation. Yeah. I mean, I've done that, like I guess on a cold day or something. Yeah, you're sort of trying to, you're trying to. Get like a bit of an oatmeal porridge scenario.
Yeah, I was never into that now myself. It
me
always
neither,
felt
bro.
Like felt like a farmer thing to do. I don't know why I say that. It felt like a farmer thing to do. I don't know.
Well,
we never had a microwave growing up.
All cereal was just so good when I got to Ireland because the milk was so creamy, man.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember even cornflakes, like Irish cornflakes are better than American cornflakes.
Wow.
But I just remember having cornflakes in Ireland for the first time. Just the milk was so much better. Oh God, it was just like suddenly cornflakes were like, wow, this is amazing. You know,
definitely some of the best dairy in the world, because I worked in a lot of food business in England, and that was the dairy over there is just, it's nowhere near. Even just your standard milk in the shop was just like, ugh, what is that? Like, yeah, we got amazing milk and butter here and Irish cheese.
but I used to love Shreddies when it would get soggy. I love soggy Shreddies, man.
Oh
But
yeah,
the
they were
problem-
good, yeah, because they
the
still hold the
problem-
texture. They still hold the texture.
Yeah, the problem with soggy Shreddies is, because I have a problem. I'll get a box of cereal and it won't last very long.
Yeah.
And I can eat a full box of Shreddies in, I mean, definitely 2 days, but more often a day and a half, to be honest with you. I'll get them at night after a show. I'll have a bowl or two. I'll have some in the morning, and then that night I'll be like, fuck it, I'm having some more Shreddies. And then boom, a whole box of Shreddies is in my stomach. And I can promise you that the couple of days after that, it's pretty flowy.
Oh,
know?
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I actually don't buy Shreddies anymore. Even though I love Shreddies, I have a problem where I can't control myself with Shreddies. So
Yeah.
I can't handle
If you're having coffee as well with your Shreddies, that's going to be pretty. That's going to be pretty full on.
I can't do it anymore, man. I can't. You know, I ate so much Raisin Bran as a kid. I mean, I didn't realize how much my digestive system was being run by this. So many wires was being run by the amount of fiber that I was pumping in my body. So I don't do it. Bran flakes too. I love bran flakes, but I can't do it, man. It's just too.
I love bran flakes.
It's too much. Yeah. It's like a 3-day commitment, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like when you have shows. I mean, shows are like a laxative as it is, and then you got that plus fucking a box of bran flakes in a 24-hour period. So, unfortunately, with Shreddies and bran flakes and Raisin Bran, I couldn't handle the commitment.
The worst thing that I've learned, you seem to be able to handle it fairly well, but we've done the whole subway trip before a show, and bro, does that make me fart?
Yeah, but I don't mind
it's the
farting.
bread.
I think farting is just a wonderful addition to life, and
Yeah.
if you can rip a good like airy, you know, because like Subway bread is kind of just like air, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
totally.
it's almost as if the sky just drew a bit of bread, but there's actually nothing in it. But it's a tasty bit of air, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that when you eat the air, it goes back into its natural state, so it has to be released. And I love a good, you know when a fart is so powerful, like it's so painful inside your stomach that you know it's not going to smell because it's just not hot. It's just air.
Yeah.
Totally. I love those ones, man. Just like
because they have all the sound effects, but none of the pain.
Yeah, it's just pure. It's just pure liberation. You know, it's like, it's just like there's a freedom to it. You know, and you can almost feel your stomach start to go in. And that's the problem with this fucking quarantine is like the way I was eating early on. They weren't like those types of farts. They were like, it was something else. It was a heavy sadness to my farts. It was almost as if my stomach went like, what are you doing? Like, it's like we're back in college here. You're sitting around all day doing nothing, you know?
Yeah.
What's going on? What happened to our busy life?
I know. The bowels don't like it. I remember the worst farts have to be protein shake farts. I remember being side stage in Hawkswell in Sligo for a play. And the cast had to line up at the side before the bow, and the main actress, Aisling O'Sullivan, was doing the big monologue and closing off the whole show, and we have to be all very quiet as she's doing this big emotional bit. And then when the lights go down, we all have to quietly sneak on. The lights come up and we bow. But I was doing a lot of weight training and stuff with Keith Duffy. So he had me. I'd never done all these weights, so he had me on these protein shakes, and I was the first of the cast of 13 downside stage. So it was like a tiny little. And I said I had a protein shake on the intermission, and said I'll just let this one slide out. You know, nobody's here yet. It'll be fine. And one by one, each cast member would come through the door into side stage. They couldn't make any noise, but they're all going, "What the fuck?"
Oh my god. So embarrassing. Did they know it was you? Did you take
so
responsibility?
Yeah, I had to. I was so embarrassed. And we're all on stage, like bowing and all that kind of stuff. And everyone is fuming, absolutely fuming, because I had to sit there in that smell for 5 minutes.
I know, man. Well, you know, and it's a hot one. Like, anyway, man, You know, there's nothing you can do sometimes though when it comes to shows. Performance does funny things to your digestive system. You know. But anyway, that's my life hack. Well, actually, my other life hack I have to say in terms of wind and smelly farts is, and I hate to admit it because I'm such a critic of people self-diagnosing themselves with conditions, but since I cut down on real milk and went with the oat milk, oat milk is the only of the alternatives that I like because I quite like oat milk. But since I've gone with the oat milk, I've definitely had less windy days. I have to say. But I can't say if that's anecdotal, if it's some other thing going on in my life. But yeah, no, I definitely have less. It's been better for my digestive system, I have to say.
I think it's true, bro. When I moved to England, I had a reaction to the milk over there. And started getting really sick when I had to have the milk over there. Actually, that's what happened. Was I was living in a warehouse, and me and a mate literally ate cereal for a week. We weren't buying any food. We were just we'd no money, so we just ate cereal all week. And I started getting really bad toilet trips, basically. And somebody said to me, "I bet you that's the milk." And sure enough, when I cut out the dairy, it was fine. And I was talking to this. She's a biochemist or something like that. This girl I went on a date on. Anyway, she said that apparently at the age of around 28 to 34, your stomach lining apparently changes because the last of the lining that digested your mother's milk has left. Oh. And she said that with a combination of if you've been drinking Irish dairy all your life and then you just started putting dairy from a different country, it's different bacteria.
Sassenach. Fucking Banya na Sassenach.
Banya na Sassenach.
I don't know what the grammar, I don't know what the Tishel Ginnaducht is on that, sorry.
But yeah, apparently you can have a reaction like that. So yeah, I haven't I don't even drink normal milk at all now. But I just have. But the almond milk and all that stuff is grand.
I just don't like almond milk. I just like oat milk, man. I kind of prefer oat milk, and I prefer Oatly barista version. However, what I have discovered over here is they have Planet Oat, and the Planet Oat extra creamy is also good. So
nice. Did I tell you about
life hack number 2? Go ahead.
Well, my friend started literally just before the lockdown. He's a barista friend of mine, and he started Dublin Oat. And they've done all the tests, and they reckon for coffee and all that, it's the best. It's the best oat milk now.
Ooh, I'll tell you right now. Tell him to call me, and I'll do a test.
Exactly. I'll send you the link to it. Shout out to
I would
Dublin
love that.
Oat.
I would love to get Irish oat milk. I thought about it at the time because Oatly actually ran into a distribution problem last year. And they couldn't keep up with the demand. Yeah. And I was thinking, God, there is a business right there, oat milk. Because oat milk wipes the floor with all the dairy alternatives. I mean, there's no comparison.
Yeah. He combined with a chef. So he was a barista, and he combined with a chef of a well-known restaurant in Dublin. And I had just left working with the cafe, and he said I was like, yeah, go for it, man, just see what happens. And they just kept cooking it up and testing it and trying all the different ways. They got the recipe right, and now they literally just started distributing as the lockdown happened. But it'll be. I mean, why wouldn't you have an Irish oat milk company? They're going to kill it.
Can I just point out?
One
of my biggest hates in all the world. Small bowls, man. What the fuck?
Small balls.
I can't stand when I first came to Ireland. I feel like nowadays there's much deeper bowls around. IKEA came, and suddenly the concept of a good deep bowl. But when I first moved to Ireland, I always felt like everywhere I went, fucking stay in people's houses, oh yeah, you can have breakfast there, or when you go to a hotel and they have a buffet breakfast, the fucking bowl is tiny. It's
they're ridiculous.
Why? I'm gonna have 3 bites of this. I'm gonna have 3 bites of this fucking cornflakes, or 3 bites of this fruit salad. What the fuck is the matter with you?
And they use that same bowl for soup as well, and it's just it's not enough.
It's not enough, man. What the fuck is small bowls gotta go?
It so feels of 1980s Ireland, doesn't it?
Man, I can't stand terrible. Small bowls. If you got a small bowl at your
That's
buffet,
what you want, people.
A deep bowl and a fucking Cowboys coffee cup. That's what you need.
And a Portuguese woman to make it for you. No,
that's exactly. Fucking some immigrant to make it for you. Good modern Ireland.
Maria, where are you?
Modern Ireland, man. So that's my life hack. You got any life hacks, bro?
I was just thinking life.
No, I know. We were saying that we were gonna fuck around with fake ones, but just out of curiosity, has anything jumped out at you yet that you're like, oh yeah, I need to keep this up?
Definitely. definitely just doing stuff like baking. I love cooking, and I cooked as work for a while and stuff like that. So I've loved the baking. That has been amazing. And I swear to God, I've never got as much interaction on social media as I have in the last 2 weeks just because of baking. It's hilarious. But also, as you can see, I need a haircut. But in order to I have nice hair product that I've run out of and I can't get it. So coconut butter.
Coconut butter seems to be the answer for bloody everything.
For fucking everything.
It's good from stuff for your hair to your skin to lube for anal.
Lube.
Coconut butter seems to be the solution.
You can cook with it and you can fuck with it. It's amazing.
Yeah, literally. Fucking, chuck it on the pan, fry some shit up, and while you're frying, fucking boom.
Yeah.
So what are you putting cocoa butter in your hair?
I just did now. Yeah, I just did because it otherwise the fro that I get is embarrassing. Just
mine's
a bit
pretty flowy. Mine's getting there, bro.
I reckon. Is that the longest you've ever had it?
It's not the longest I've ever had it, but I'm not cutting it until this is over. Actually, the top. I can often have the top long, but it's the sides I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how wingy the sides will get because this was a 0 before all this crap started. So it'll be a while before that grows out.
Yeah. And you've shaved your head before. You look good with a shaved head as well. So
I shaved head years ago, but I'm done with that, man. That's the old me, bro. That's the old Des. This is the mature gray. You got to show off the gray.
Yeah.
So my life hack is no matter when you're in the kitchen and you put on the kettle, you should do squats. You should do squats while you're waiting for the kettle, squats while you're waiting for the toast, squats while you're on the phone with somebody, but you don't have to kill yourself. Just do a set of 5 to 10 squats and just do that. But I'm waiting for somebody to tell me if it's better to exercise one longer session or is it better to just do little spurts throughout the day? Because I have the jump rope here and sometimes I just grab it and I do it for 3 or 4 minutes. But I want to know, is that effective or is it better to just actually do? Because I do other pushy workouts like Peloton or I'll do something in front of the screen longer. But I want to know, is there also benefit from just little bits like quick sprints with the dog when I'm going for a walk? If you're doing that throughout the day, what's the benefit of that? That's a question to the listeners. What personal trainer with no real qualifications is out there right now that wants to give me an answer to that question?
I've heard that works with if you're doing 100 press-ups a day, but even if it's all interspersed, you don't have you can do sets of 20 over the course of the day. Apparently, over a couple of weeks, that you really start to notice the effect of that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I get 100 push-up challenges a day from people I don't know on Instagram, so I might as well start answering them then.
Oh, really? 100 in a?
No, I'm just kidding. It's just stupid. One of them was 30 push-up challenge. I was like, well, first of all, I'm not wasting 3 full stories to get through your 30 push-up challenge. You know what I mean? The most you're gonna, the shortest you're gonna do that is 45 seconds, possibly a minute. I'm not wasting 4 stories on your challenge. Challenge has to be 15 seconds.
Yeah. Or else you can just boomerang it and just fucking...
But I just got one from Jason. It was 18 push-up challenge, which is such a strange number,
Just to do 18 push-ups?
Yeah, that was. There's a lot of different push-up challenges right now going around Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
I love the Jolene one. That is good, to be fair.
What's that one?
Have you seen Andy Lee was doing it? So Andy Lee, the Irish boxer, who I think he now trains in New York, but
sorry,
he does
I just
it with
turned
his
on my TikTok. Sorry. All right, go ahead.
I think he does it with his fighters, where you put on Dolly Parton Jolene, and every time she says Jolene, you have to do a push-up, and when she's not saying it, you have to stay up.
Oh, that's a great challenge. So when she's saying Jolene push-ups, and then when she's not, you're planking, or you're just staying up?
Yes, you're planking. You're planking up.
Full hands up.
Yeah, hands up. You stay in the up position. But it's I think it's 2.5 minute song or something like that. But every song is like Jolene, 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 and then you have to wait for the next week.
Yeah, I'm begging you, please don't take my man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's a good one.
I'm going to do the Jolene challenge.
Yeah.
But very disappointed. My Jesus Christ Superstar TikTok only has 7 comments and 191 likes on TikTok. It's very disappointing. 1,800 views, but if it's gonna do well, pretty quick that it's more around the 5,000 or 6,000 views within the first few hours. But whatever.
Sometimes
man.
it's the time of the day and all that, isn't it?
I know, but I think sometimes with anything that's older, the older reference stuff just doesn't land with these kids, you know?
Oh,
But
here's
it's
a
Good
life
Friday.
hack. Yes, it is Good Friday. Bro,
Go.
it's too
Go.
I went out for the run there. It's too fucking busy out there. But anyway, I don't know if this is a life hack, but it's definitely for our generation. Sonic the Hedgehog, the computer game that we used to play on the Mega Drive, you can get it on your phone now. The exact game. Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's
Steve.
amazing.
That is a great life hack, bro. Great high five.
Like the whole game, bro.
Virtual
Boom.
high five, Steve. That is a great life hack because, God, I remember we had Sega Genesis. You guys called it Mega Drive. We called it Sega Genesis.
Right. That
That's
was the
why-
very first one that was a little bit bigger and it had great buttons, no?
No. Mega Drive and Genesis were the same.
Right.
The Sega Master System, but then Sega, for some reason in Europe, they called it Sega Mega Drive. They called it Sega Genesis here because you didn't have Genesis, right? Genesis means nothing, right?
No, I don't remember Genesis, no.
No, because Biggie Small says Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Okay, right.
So you probably didn't even know what was going on there, but it was the Mega Drive. But Sonic, oh my God, I'm so gonna. I can't remember where I was, but I played Sonic not that long ago.
Right.
And how do you make them go bzzz on the?
It's all the controls. Here, look. It even does the Sega.
Sega. Oh my God, dude, you're taking me back, man.
That's so good. It's so good. It's absolutely
Oh my
amazing.
God, I can't. I just can't wait to eat cereal and play Sonic the Hedgehog, man. You're taking me back to my childhood before I was abandoned sent to another country by my family.
It's so
Sega.
Wait till you hear the sound. I'm going to start a game here for you just so you can hear the sound.
That's great. Can we play each other or no?
So I'm on level 3 or whatever. But
you're on level 3 already. Of course I do.
There's the buttons and all that for him to go.
Yeah, and you spin them and everything.
You can.
But there was always a dilemma with: do you try to get through quick or do you try to get as many rings as possible?
Yeah.
What's your feeling?
I've just been playing on both because, I think if you go through, because there is a different section that's time trials, so you get through the episode,
and you have to get the rings to get you get extra lives and different things, right?
I think so, yeah. But
wow, you're taking me back, man. We're getting so old. I was thinking this today. I was driving down and I was like, I'm 44 years old. Like, odds on, best case scenario, I'm halfway through. Like, I'm halfway through life now, and I just started to think about the late 70s, early 80s, and I was like, fuck me, that's a long time ago. I've been on this fucking planet a long time, and now you bring up Sonic the Hedgehog? Jesus Christ.
Have you seen the movie? I'm not joking you. It's brilliant.
Sonic Hedgehog, the movie?
It came out this year. Jim Carrey plays Dr. Robotnik. It's so good. It came out in February of this year. I don't know how many times I've watched it. My daughter loves it, and then we go out on the road and she pretends she's Sonic going brrr, like it's just.
Oh, that's great.
It's great.
So funny how your kids can get into stuff that you're into because my He-Man never became big again. He-Man didn't become big, but my brother loved He-Man. My brother thought that he was He-Man when he was a kid. My brother Mike,
right?
And so he introduced He-Man to Kieran, his son, but on YouTube, like shitty quality old He-Mans. And then Kieran was like really into He-Man for a long time. It's funny.
That's great. Yeah, my daughter loves the movie. And then I was talking to somebody this morning on Instagram about Sonic, and the guy goes to me, you can get that on your phone. It's just like, and I was like, yeah, but it's going to be shitty. He's like, no, the actual game is there. You can play it. So sure enough, went on it. It's free. Downloaded it, and you can play the game. And so there I was in bed till like 12 o'clock this morning playing Sonic, and my daughter's coming in going, oh my God, it's Sonic. I was like, this is where he came from.
Yeah, this is his origin story. We controlled Sonic.
Yeah. She thinks it's just a movie. The movie, I highly recommend the movie. It's easy, silly.
I'm going to play it
great
now
watching
all day, and then I'm going to watch the movie, man. That's great, dude.
It's great.
That's great. Well, listen, that's more than I was expecting out of today. I thought we'd do a lot of life hacks, but really we just went down memory lane, which is fantastic. I really
Cereal
just wanted to do
Sonic.
I wanted to do something light for our listeners because I ended up getting really emotional about John Prine dying. I'd never heard of him before, and I had like an emotional reaction. And then Jason was great, but he was talking about his dad. It was great, but it was like 2 sessions in a row of grief. So I wanted something that was like,
But Jay's great at talking about that stuff as well, isn't he? Because
it was great. It was fantastic. So this has been ideal. Just a break from it all. I just wanted a break.
Absolutely. I hope everyone's doing. If all you guys listen out there, I hope you're all doing good. And if you're in Ireland, we've officially got another month, but it's okay. You've got Sonic on your phone now.
Yeah, and well, in Ireland, I wish everybody the best. I've been listening to Morning Ireland every day, trying to stay connected. But you guys appear to be doing a pretty good job over here. It's a fucking shit show. Nobody's really at the wheel. Our governor's at the wheel, but Trump is out of his mind. He's gloating about that it was the best week on the stock market since 1974. It's like, mate, you don't gloat about the stock. Like, anyway. So for everybody over here, do you get very emotional when you see TikToks of frontline workers?
Yeah, and well, especially the ones of when they're walking out from work and there's people queuing out to clap them. And I've had a few. I didn't realize quite a few nurses get in touch, listening to this and listening to Hello Steve-O podcast as well. And it's great they really appreciate us creating banter and crack like this. And so you genuinely feel a sense of meaning in just doing this, you know what I mean? Because they listen to it, and it just helps them to get their mind off because it's stressful going into work, and this helps them get their mind off it. So if they can think about crunching up cornflakes for a few minutes, that's great,
Yeah, I'll be happy, man. I mean, I feel for them, it's so...
Totally.
When these TikToks come up, and like I've always had a thing for nurses, like it doesn't matter, but my first DVD I recorded 2 years after I had radiation for testicular cancer. And the nurses at that hospital, including Ed Byrne's mother, by the way. Ed Byrne, the comedian's mother, was the head nurse there in the radiology department, whichever of those two things it's called, in St. Luke's Hospital, which is just a cancer hospital, And just the way that these nurses dealt with me and dealt with other people. And there's like a lot of at the time, especially, like I just was amazed at how good they were, not just at looking after you, but also just like the vibe they created and the sense of friendship. So my first DVD is actually dedicated to the nurses at St. Luke's. And I just remember feeling so connected to them at the time, but I have a similar feeling now. Like it is, there is a real sense of like warmth and love, joined with powerlessness that you can't do anything, but you just wish that there was some way to just give it out to them, because it's really amazing what they're doing,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like Jason was saying in the previous podcast, like their ability to have such great empathy when his dad was passing away and stuff like that, but they know how to say the right thing, but they know how to be
they were the
funny
EMTs, the EMT is amazing. Like they have to go into these horrific situations.
So shout out to the nurses out there. You guys are amazing.
God, Steve, you're very you're a very good member of this podcast community. You're listening to the other eps.
I do when I get a chance, and like literally when I get a chance. It's weird. I'm not listening to as many podcasts because I am a podcast listener, but now because I don't have as much time on my own, so I'd obviously listen to podcasts when I'm on the road or traveling or whatever like that. But like listening to a podcast is not really a thing you do sitting at home. I listen to them when I'm cooking, so I love sticking on a podcast and cooking.
Right, yeah.
So
well, first of all, let's remind our listeners. I know you just said it, but let's give them a direct call to action that the Hello Steve-O podcast is also up and running again.
Yes.
With a lot of apps since you've been on in quarantine. So do check out the Hello Steve-O podcast.
Yes, thank you and thanks very much for. I actually said it. I never did it, but I set up a donation thing, just like if anyone did want to get, and I got loads of donations this week, so it's been like it's been amazing. So I'm very grateful and thankful. That I got emotional about that. Actually, I was like, "Fucking hell,"
Yeah, but that is nice because you're not. You're asking for people to help you out because you are doing a thing. I mean, you are working. It's not like you're asking for money for nothing. So it is fair enough,
Yeah. So
I'll tell you one thing, man. If the world is still closed down in the autumn, I'll be fucking asking for donations too. Right now, I'm good. I'm like, hey, I'm good, and we'll get this show on the back up and running in the autumn. But if this game is still going on in the autumn, then I'll be asking for donations. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But Christina called yesterday actually as well, and that was great just to chat to them because like everyone at the agency is in a weird place as well and all that stuff. So
Plus, it's hard to reschedule shows because you don't want to you don't want to do something that you're gonna have to do again. So it's a weird situation. But anyway, on both the Hello Steve-O podcast and this podcast, leave comments. If you don't know where the comments are, even though I always say it, you go to the end of all the episodes and it'll say write a review, and you leave a 5 stars, write a review. It helps the chart position. That's if you want to know why I'm always asking for this. It helps the chart position. You get a good chart position. There's a chance that people that didn't know about your podcast will see you easier. So that's always good. Do that on mine and Hello Steve-O. And if you're listening on Spotify, please just take a screenshot and put it up on Instagram. That's my favorite thing. Or put it up on Twitter. Say you like these podcasts. And then obviously this podcast will be up on YouTube. How are you feeling about the videos, Steve?
Yeah, good. I had a shave, as you can see, so it's big, you know. I enjoy it, man. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday.
They don't get a ton of views. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was talking to a friend of mine who works in what did he call it? Visual editing or visual directing or something like. He directs loads of live online stuff like this, basically, in Canada, and he was saying like this is the future, and the more work you put into this, the better it's going to get, you know, and just keep working at it and keep investing in this kind of stuff. So I'm just enjoying it. You get used to it. I've done loads of other people's podcasts, and I did one the other day that was really cool called Streaming in the Ears.
Which is brilliant name. Brilliant name.
Two Cork boys, Dennis Lane and Roger O'Sullivan, and it's basically the three of us, and then on Skype, I think it was, and then we're just watching YouTube and chatting at the same time. It was great.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Well, so in terms of the YouTube, do watch YouTube. I mean, I don't mind they don't get a ton of views, because my thinking on it is the reason why I keep putting them up is because you begin to trick the algorithm starts to notice you as a regular content contributor, and then you hope that it gets out there on the recommends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Well, thank you to you, Steve, and thank you to our listeners. I'm just going to sign off right here at Des Bishop on Instagram, at Hello Steve-O
on Instagram. Thanks so much, guys. Look after yourselves.
All right, everybody. We'll be today is Saturday, so we'll be back. We'll be back next week. Joanne should be back next week, and we'll have some other eps. See you, Steve-O.